Parliament has approved the controversial Zeppelin drones contract after it was put to a vote on Tuesday. The deal, worth some $12 million would see the company use drones to distribute essential medicines to remote areas in Ghana. The minority NDC had remained opposed to the contract, saying it is not a deal that satisfied the value for money test. The majority, however, won the vote by some 102 to 58. Joseph Opoku-Gapo was in the chamber and brings us this report.
House had suspended approval of this particular deal on two different occasions to allow for the Health Committee to incorporate a reworking of the financials and also a document from the Civil Aviation Authority giving the green light for the operation of the drones before it can be approved. Chairman of the Health Committee, Dr. Chumiama, gave the indication that all that had been done.
The service fee per distribution center per month will be 80,000 United States dollars for day deliveries only and 88,000 United States dollars for day and night deliveries when fully deployed. We insert the following. A copy of the report on the GCA investigations was submitted to the committee.
First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Owusu, then asked the House to vote on whether they are approving or not approving this particular deal.
Other members, the question is all in favor of the motion, say aye. All against, say no. The ayes have it. Right? No. We need a house. No, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, no. Yes, Honorable.
The minority challenged the indication that approval had been given for the deal. Muntaka Mubarak, the minority chief whip, led them on that call.
Mr. Speaker, I'll be grateful that you take us through head count because, in my view, the noes had it, but you call the yes had it. So I'll be grateful if you take us through a head count to determine this beyond reasonable doubt. All in favor of the motion, rise in your places to be counted.
Eventually, the voting was done as members on the majority side supporting the deal were asked to stand, and same was done for those who were objecting to the deal. The counting was done eventually, and then Joseph Osei-Owusu announced the final results of the counting.
Here are the results of those who support the Speaker's decision, 102. Those who oppose with the Speaker's decision, 58. So, with the Speaker's decision, that the ayes have it still stands. Other members, the motion is adopted.
Outside the House, the minority spokesperson on finance, Kesela Tofosen, reiterated their insistence that this deal is a bad deal for the country. He went on to challenge Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to publicly defend and respond to the concerns they've raised about the financials as far as this deal is concerned.
The deal was cooked at the Vice President's office. So we expect His Excellency the Vice President to come and speak to the matter. He should come and speak to the matter because we know it's his office that worked on this deal. We know, even at the committee, his people are those who came to defend it at the committee from his office. So we expect him to come and speak to the matter. In fact, today is a sad day for Ghana.
At the press conference, the minority gave the indication that a future NDC government will renegotiate this particular drone deal and would also work to ensure that any person who had played a role in what they are describing as a fraudulent and criminal deal at the level of government is brought to book in the end.
When we are in power, we are going to review. And when I mean review, we will look at everything that is in tandem with the national interest. If it falls short of the national interest, I can tell you the NDC will not uphold anything that is not in the national interest. If anything is found to be fraudulent, it will be done in conformity with the law. We are in an law and order-driven society. And so any process or any person or anything that is found to have violated the laws of this country will be made to go through the constitutional and legal process.
From Parliament House in Accra, Joseph Opoku-Gapo reporting.
A family of a 15-year-old Yemeni girl who was allegedly defiled by her 60-year-old grandfather is accusing the Ghana Police Service of refusing to prosecute the suspect. The young girl was allegedly defiled a year ago on her way to school. According to the family, though it has presented evidence to support its claims against the alleged perpetrator and made several appeals to the police, the suspect is reported to be walking free. Ifo Evans Chinri has the rest of the story.
The girl, who we will call Jibril, was only 14 years old when she was allegedly defiled. According to her parents, her grandfather Umar Mahmoud Mohammed picked her up for school, drugged her, and had forced sex with her at an unknown location. They claim he dumped her by the roadside where she was found and rescued by passers-by. The suspect was arrested by the Kwabenya police where the matter was reported. The case was subsequently transferred to the Medina police station, but the family says the suspect was released even after medical reports proved that the girl had been defiled. At a news conference in Accra, lawyer for the victim, Justice Abdullahi, said they are disappointed with the police handling of the case. He claims the suspect has even threatened to kill family members if they pursue the matter.
From December 2017, we have been pursuing justice. Until date, justice seems to be quite elusive. No single administration of the police or any of our prosecutorial agencies have taken any step to ensure that this matter is prosecuted. Indeed, together with the family, we have spearheaded the search for evidence, and we provided all the evidence that is needed, required, to ensure a successful prosecution. Because, believe me, if you go to the police, they will tell you that until you have a prima facie case, they are not prosecuting. And of course, as a lawyer, that is what I do for a living. I ensure that these were provided. In addition to the police report, all the policemen who were initially part of this investigation have volunteered to provide any assistance that the prosecutorial teams would need. We have provided every single document. I have personally gone to the police headquarters for more than 100 times in my life. In fact, the highest I have ever done in my entire life within this short period.
Meanwhile, the victim who was sent to Yemen to be married off is now divorced and battling suicidal thoughts. According to the family, her ex-husband divorced her after he discovered she had been defiled. She's now living in Yemen with her friends.
Well, let's go back to some health stories. And doctors at the Komfo Teaching Hospital have bemoaned the low level of knowledge of cervical cancer among Ghanaians. Specialist obstetrician and gynecologist Dr. Aidu Apiakubi says the situation, which is worse, especially in rural communities, has led to the late detection of infection and treatment. Well, Love FM's Kwesi Debra brings us the rest of the story.
Medical officers were surprised to find residents had trooped to the event grounds at the break of dawn. Cervical cancer is an infection which causes cancer cells to form in the cervix. The World Health Organization says cervical cancer is the fourth most frequent of cancers in women. In Ghana, it's estimated about 3,052 new cervical cancer cases were recorded in 2012. It represents 32.7% of the total cancer cases among women in the country. Dr. Aidu Apiakubi is consultant gynecologist at the Komfo Teaching Hospital.
The knowledge issue is very low. It's very, very low. Most of them don't even know what cervical cancer is. And it's very pathetic, considering the fact that cervical cancer is one of the cancers that we can prevent, and then we can cure it when we get it early.
In countries where screening programs are unavailable, diagnosis of cervical cancer at an early stage and access to effective treatment can significantly improve survival rates. Rachel Ajiman-Boateng is head of project committee of the Medical Students Association.
There are three ways that you can prevent cervical cancer, which is we have the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary preventions. And with the primary preventions, you can start by educating the public. So as a committee, that's what we've started doing. We are educating the public on the dangers of cervical cancer, the risk factors of cervical cancer. Promiscuity is a risk factor. Multiple births can be a risk factor. Multiple sexual partners is also a risk factor of cervical cancer. So we are trying to teach the public of the dangers, about the dangers of cervical cancer.
The foundation, which focuses on rural health, honors the legacy of the late Dr. F.O. Fusubako, a renowned obstetric and gynecologist. President of the foundation, Dr. Ben Blay Ofusubako, advised women to prioritize their health and get screening regularly.
We can't keep doing it for them forever, but then to encourage them to periodically get screened for the disease and then treated if necessary.
The medical officers have taken samples for examination and report on the findings to the people. They also examine people for diabetes and blood pressure. Children were also screened and treated for various ailments. Beneficiaries received medication for free, and those with severe conditions referred for further treatment. Reporting for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
Meanwhile, still on health, malaria, upper respiratory tract infections and diarrhea top the list of diseases reported at health facilities in the Amansia South District of the Ashanti region. Outpatient department attendance for 2018 alone runs into thousands, with malaria hitting 21,386 as at the end of the third quarter of the year. The newly created district is currently grappling with these and other healthcare challenges in the absence of a standard hospital. Ohiminteria looks at the socio-economic implication of the situation and efforts by authorities in the district to change the lot of the people by upgrading existing health center.
Road network and attendant crashes, as well as illegal mining, are among risk factors of health. The Manso Adubia Health Center has seen 5,058 cases of upper respiratory tract infections and 3,425 diarrhea cases since the beginning of the year. It is the only health center among many built during Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's era, yet to be upgraded to hospital status. Many health conditions medical personnel see here come at advanced and critical stages, compelling authorities to fall on St. Michael Hospital at Agroesum for relief. Thomas Eji is principal physician assistant in charge of the facility.
In fact, we have a lot of structures here that can turn the facility into the hospital, because there's a whole lot of walls, OPD, a spacious OPD, a place for maternity and ANC, and the environment too. It can help to turn the place into the hospital. Because since it's a health center and the level of prescribing, we have our level of prescribing. So there are certain drugs we cannot give to the patient. But when they move to the hospital, like they get it. So if here becomes a hospital, the drugs, our levels will go up, and therefore we can prescribe a whole lot of drugs, and people can pay to me, and when they can also get the drugs they want. You see.
Bernard Bediako is District Health Director. He gives an overview of the situation in the district.
I'm sure you have witnessed our roads, and very, very dusty. So we have upper respiratory tract infections, asthmatic infections, all coming in, and it's regular. So you realize that upper respiratory tract infections comes to number 2 when you are considering the OPD cases that we get every month. But we are praying that the government would help us construct our roads. It's very, very key. In fact, when it comes to this district, our road network is bad.
The district assembly is working with the health directorate to address the challenge. First, residential accommodation for a resident medical officer is being addressed. William Asante Bediako is district chief executive.
We have plans to put up a theater and then also expand the lab and then other stuff that they will need for that particular assessment. And so we are very, very committed, because for me, I believe that it's long overdue. And it's just because probably that political will was not there. But for now, we are providing it.
From Manso Edubia in the Ashanti region for Joy News, I'm Interior reports.
And before we go, authorities at Prempeh College in Kumasi say they are currently forced to hold gatherings under a tree because the school's assembly hall can currently not accommodate the huge number of students. Well, the existing facility is enough to contain just about half of the school's 400,000 students, leaving the rest outside for church services and other meetings. As a stopgap measure, authorities are using a big tree in front of the school's administrative block as a backup. Ohim again.
As a stopgap measure, authorities are using a big tree in front of the school's administration block for backup. Assistant Headmaster Ernest Wiafe appeals for government support to construct a befitting hall for the school. He spoke at the inauguration and handing over of a mechanized borehole funded by the 1998 year group of the school.
We still have some challenges which I would like to share with you. The assembly hall complex, although uncompleted, cannot accommodate the over 4,000 students that we have. Form 1 students alone, track green and gold, we have over 1,900. Form 2 students, 925. Form 3, those preparing for the WASI, they are over 1,200. So we are forced to hold most of our gatherings outside like we are doing now. Another important area of concern to us is the school gate, the college gate, the main entrance. Because of the construction of the Sofo line interchange, there was a little bit of a problem, and the entrance is now hidden. What we are using at the Centresu end is not the official entrance. So we appeal to past students who are here who can pull strings to do so that we get a better entrance that befits the status of this great college.
The group undertook the project in response to reports of students contracting waterborne related skin infections. Dr. Ernest Opoku is president of the 1998 year group of Prempeh College.
Somebody might ask, why mechanized borehole? Recently we heard about Prempeh College experiencing water shortage in the school, to the extent that at a point in time some students, I'm sure you are not around, some students had skin infections because there was water shortage in the school. So we thought of doing something for Prempeh College. Though we couldn't serve the whole school, we are sure in the coming years or in the coming months, coming days, other year groups will take it upon themselves so that in the near future we shall be taking off the national grid, that's Ghana Water Company. I hope next year by now, when we come on campus, the whole school will have mechanized borehole.
From Kumasi, for Joy News, Ohim Interior reports.
So before we go, let's look at this. The largest seed producing company in Ghana, the Legumes and Grains Development Board located in Winneba, is currently producing below capacity, and its capacity of some 25,000 bags as it grapples with the high cost of electricity. Farmers are therefore calling for support from government at the barest minimum as the growing cost of seed production increases. And we'll look at all that on AM Business. Remember, AM Business is brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. That's it for the latest news updates. Stay with us. We'll do a review of the newspapers